Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.
Today on the Doc on the Run podcast, we're talking about how hyperextension can lead to a plantar plate injury. If you're a runner and you have pain in the ball of the foot and you've self-diagnosed or been diagnosed with a plantar plate sprain, you probably already realize you're in for a lot of trouble. It's very difficult to get these things to heal, and it's even more difficult to get the plantar plate ligament to heal while you're still running. Well, because of that, if you caused the plantar plate injury by hyperextending the toe, then obviously if you want to get it to heal and continue running, you need to stop hyperextending the plantar plate by stretching it and pulling on it. And so we're going to talk about why that happens. Now, what we're talking about here is the plantar plate ligament is typically on the bottom of the second toe, is the one to get injured. And by hyperextension, we mean pulling the toe up way too much. That's what we're talking about, is pulling the toe up, dorsiflecting the toe, and when we say hyperextension, it's pulling it up like this. So how does this happen? Well, it happens a couple of ways. The most common way this happens, obviously your toe's not going to get pulled up like this while you're running, but your toe does get in this position when you're doing lunges, when you're doing planks, when you're doing push-ups, when you're doing certain yoga poses that force the toes upward and really hyperextend those toes, can cause a lot of trouble. Running on doing elliptical trainers or running on treadmills with it really, really steep, particularly in flexible shoes, can also do that. So what happens though is that the reason this actually gets injured when you hyperextend the toe, when you pull it up in that direction over and over and over, is you're just stretching it way too far. And if you stretch it way too far and then you're doing an exercise that does stretch it and you get weaker and you wobble, and when you're in that position, well then that wobbling that's while you're holding the toe up can actually tear the plantar plate ligament. When you do it chronically over and over and over, it's complicated by the fact that you get inflammation in and around the plantar plate ligament that has degradative enzymes that weaken the collagen in the plantar plate ligament. So then not only are you putting it in a position where it can tear, you have created a situation that makes it weaker because of that inflammatory fluid that's been sitting around there because it's been aching for weeks or months because you're just ignoring it. So you don't want to ignore the pain, you don't want to ignore the discomfort, and you do not want to keep doing exercises that force your toes all the way to the end range of motion because you're really stretching the plantar plate ligament, you're making it more difficult to heal, and putting yourself at risk for making the plantar plate rupture worse. So if you want to learn more about plantar plate strategies that I use with runners and what I teach to physicians at medical conferences when I go lecture on running injuries, well, you can join me and get a deep dive into those strategies specifically in the Plantar Plate Masterclass for runners. You can get it for free at docontherun.com/Plantar Plate Masterclass. So go sign up and I'll see you in the training.
Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.